Hi everyone, it's Bev DeBono, and I want to show you a really fast and fun technique that you can use for a lot of your scraps. Now, all of these were made from scraps left over from stickers, mats, or pages, or even sometimes cut mats that were cut, or just little scraps of paper that were left over. So I really want to show you how you can use some of these scraps and make a really fast and easy page. And there's also a trick with this because it looks like it's a double frame, but it's really a one base and then a 1/2 inch. This one happens to be a 1/2 inch strip that goes all the way around. Okay, so let's get started. What you're going to need is one base page. So I'm going to use white because it's going to be easier to see for everyone to really see. And I'm going to put it right on my mat. And sometimes, because if you're using cardstock, every once in a while, the cardstock might be just a little off. It might be a little bit bigger than 12 inches. So we're using 1-inch squares. You might have a little bit of a differential at the edge of those. Not to worry, we could either cut it off at the end or we'll figure it out. Okay, so the very first thing I want you to do is get a ruler, and we are going to place a ruler at the 1-inch mark on the right-hand side, top to bottom. Now I can see already that my cardstock is already over the 12-inch mark here. So I'm going to just take that one and I'm going to just straighten it out. Okay, so that it's going to be a true 12 inches. I'm just going to straighten it out. And, you know, that is just the nature of cardstock, how it's milled and all of that. But it will make, you know, make a little bit of a difference. I'm just going to straighten it out. Okay, so let's just take our rulers and we're going to draw a 1-inch line from the top to the bottom. 1-inch line from the top to the bottom with your pencil, and not to worry because we're going to be covering some of this up. Then we're going to go to the other side and we're going to draw a 1-inch line top to bottom. Okay, then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. We're going to draw a 1-inch line side to side on the bottom. Don't worry about your pencil marks. They're all going to get covered. And then at the top, we're going to draw a 1-inch line from side to side at the top. Okay, and now you're ready to start. So you have 1-inch lines. This is where we're going to work from. Okay, and then you want to select some colors that blend together. So the papers that I'm using these were all scraps that were left over from some of the classes that I did. And so I am going to use some of the scraps that I have and then start cutting a few more of the scraps. You could use 3 colors, 4 colors, 5 colors. It does not really matter. It's just so that you have 1-inch squares. Okay, so I'm going to, we need 44 squares all together. So I'm just going to arrange them here by color as I cut them. And I'm going to be cutting them. I'm using the smaller trimmer for this because I am really cutting very close to the numbers here. So I'm cutting 1-inch squares If you have a square punch, a 1-inch square punch, you certainly can use that also. And just arrange them like how you think you want them arranged, or the color patterns that you want. And these were all just leftover scraps from either mats or pieces of larger papers. So just get some that, you think that that you like the way that the colors blend. And we may end up coming back and cutting some more, but we do need about 44 of them all together. So I'm going to cut just a few more, and just 1-inch squares. And like I said, if you're using a square punch, that would be fun too. Now, if you're using something that has a direction, you do have to be careful with it. Such as if you're using something with a stripe, or something that has animals that are facing up and down, or things that are going, up and down or side to side, just to make sure that you're not putting everything in the wrong direction. Okay, so I'm going to get started with what I've cut already, and I may have to go back and cut a few more, and that is okay. And I'm going to show you the trick to this, which makes it really fast. So now you've got because you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to put tape on the back of 44 squares. No, we're not. We're going to take our repositionable tape. Let me move this down just a little bit. And I am going to run my repositionable tape all the way along, very close to that 1-inch pencil line that we just drew. And I might do another one at the very back. Okay, so this way, I am not going to have to put tape on all those squares. Okay, and then turn, and then very close to that 1-inch pencil line, because that's where we're going to line up. And this is the trick on this one, is we don't have to put tape on every square, and that is going to save us a ton of time. Okay, now that you have your tape, you're just going to start laying your squares. And the key here is really to get your square to line up to the edge of the paper. Okay, and then just keep on adding your squares. So the edge of the paper, the edge of the paper here is the more important edge. Make sure that your squares are lined up to that edge. Don't worry if they go over or under a little bit on the pencil line, and they will, because we are going to cover that up either with a sticker or a piece of paper. Okay, I'm going to just face it this way because it's easier. That way my camera won't hit my head when I'm standing up trying to do this to show you. But just start laying your squares. And just fun. Okay, so like I was showing you, some of them might be over or under that pencil mark. Not to worry, we're going to cover that up. The more important one is lining up the edge to the outer edge of your paper all the way around. And I may not want as I'm doing it, I may shift colors because I may not want that particular color in that order. Just, whatever. This is just such a fun border, and just a quick way to use up all of your scraps. And you can use, if you want to just use 3 colors, you could use a group of different colors. I think it's fun to have a lot of different colors on your page. You can use many different like on this one, I actually had, on the party one, I actually had words. Now, this is what I meant, that if you have something that is directional, this had the words happy birthday. So I had to make sure that I had those in the right direction because those had words on it. And also the cupcakes, I didn't want those upside down. So you do have to pay attention when you put them on, what direction they're going in. And I'm just randomly putting these on. There's no real rhyme or reason. If you want them to be in a specific order, then by all means, do that. And you may come to an edge here. Okay, and this is might be a little tricky, and it just is maybe again the way the paper is cut. You might be just a little short on an edge. I would then just turn my paper the other way. And now look, when I turn it this way, it lines up. So I'm not gonna worry about it, or try a different square and then just see how that works. Okay, so it is a fun technique. And like I said, make sure you line up. Again, I have to do it facing me. Make sure you line up against the edge of the paper, because we're going to cover that inside section. It is, oh, I need a blue. And I'm just putting these on based on the colors and just having some fun. I may have to go back and cut a few more pieces. I think the more colorful they are, and these are great if you have one big picture that you want to frame, these are good for that. If you have, this can also take several pictures, several different pictures. You can also put circles in the middle. See, now this square here didn't match up to my line, and I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to keep on going and just have some fun with it. And I may have to, like I said, come back and cut some more. I didn't want to cut all my papers into 1-inch squares before I needed them all. But I see that I'm going to need some more. Isn't it fun? It's just so easy to do. And it just makes a really nice. Now, if you get to the end and you've got a little bit of a bigger strip, then just overlap it with the one that's previous to that. No problem. This is the hardest part of the whole page. And I think I'm going to need a couple more of the flowers. Now the pack that I'm using now is the Birds and Blossoms, and a very pretty springtime pack. I've had people tell me that they have used it for wedding pictures because the colors are very pretty, very light. They're, you know, especially for like June weddings. Almost done. Just have one more row to go. And when you get to your corners, like I said, sometimes you have to just put them in another direction, or maybe cut one that's just a little bit bigger than an inch just to make them all work. And how pretty is that? This is random. I'm not matching it up or going in any order. I'm just randomly putting these on. Almost done. I think I want another flower right there. Okay, so once you have all of your squares on, and I'm going to show you that even on mine, I have some that are above and below and above and below the little pencil line that I drew. And that's not a problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to cover that up with either you can use stickers, or you can use, oh, I think I might, you can use stickers like I did with this one. I just used a wavy, this was a wavy birthday border sticker on the inside of that one. This one was a combination of a little line sticker and then a 1/4 of an inch paper strip. And this particular one was a 1/2 of an inch paper strip. And this one really makes it look like a double frame on this one with that 1/2 of an inch paper strip. Okay, but on today's, I'm going to, and you can use a variety of things. I'm actually going to use, I think, I'm going to figure out where my mats are going. And these were just mats from that pack. And this happened to be one that was cut out for, I cut a title out of that one. So I just want to see kind of where I would put my photos or my mats, and maybe you'll cut some of these out. So they can be 4x6. Some of these are 4x6. You could use 4x6s, or you could use 4x4s. I'm just cutting them to fit. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add on this particular one, I'm going to use a laser border down here at the bottom instead of a paper strip. And that's going to be part of my decoration. So before I do that one, I want to put my mats down. And I'm also going to use some laser borders that came with the Birds and Blossoms pack. Some bright green, I think. And then I'm going to put that down as well. And it just makes a quick page. And like I said, this was one that I had, this was an extra mat that I had cut a title out of the inside. And now I'm using it just as a placeholder for a photo, or I can put a round photo in there. So for this one, I'm going to use the laser, but I'm going to use some of these pretty laser laser borders. And I'm going to put that right on the line, that pencil line that we drew, on the inside of the pencil line that we drew. And then that is going to cover up any imperfections of the little squares. Okay, and it's going to look like it was all just meant to be. I'm just going to cut those off. And it does finish it off. So you have a lot of options as far as what you put down the sides to make your, to complete your edge. You can use lasers, you can use stickers, you can use paper strips. So many different options. And these were all just scraps that were in the leftover from my classes. Whoops, I think I need another. I only pulled 2 of the green leaves, so I need a third. Can't find it. Okay. There's this one. And then I'm going to put my big border on the bottom. Oops. Get that down before I clip it. Okay. And then I'm going to put this bigger border down at the bottom here, and then that will complete my spring page. Okay, so I hope you liked the technique. It is just using 1-inch squares all around the edges. And that's what this one looks like up close. So you can see I used laser borders as well as the lasers on this one. For this one, it was the harvest, and this used a 1/2-inch paper strip around the inside edge, and that made it look like a double frame. This particular one, I used combination of 1/4 of an inch paper strips and some sticker stripes. And this one is just a wavy stickers that actually make it look like the squares were cut with a wave. Okay, so tell me which one you like best. Did you like love? Did you like party? Did you like harvest? Did you like spring? And also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have a lot of videos up there, some really fun and fast techniques that you can get pages done very quickly. And I hope to see you again soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.